Hello, I'm Mantastic'c and Fantastic, and today I want to talk about the new Godfest exclusives Royal Oak plus Nautilus along with Seawolf Daytona. I'm pretty sure we're going to find lots of interesting abbreviations for these somewhat long-winded names, but if you log into PAD in the next couple of days, which I'm going to presume all you lovely ladies and gentlemen have been doing so, you will be able to roll one of these two cards completely for free, and I might as well do my free roll right now in front of you and then talk about the cards in a bit more detail. I rolled on Fantastic last night because, I get a little impatient sometimes. And I got Seawolf Daytona on Fantastic, and let's see how magical Mantastic'c can be. And then afterwards, I'm going to talk about the cards individually. But we get a bit of excitement. Is it going to be red, blue, and yellow, which I think are pretty colors? Or is it going to be the blue, green, and Seawolf Daytona? They are arguably the better of the two because the sub pool is quite strong. Now, pretty cool stuff. Get a new background music, ladies and gentlemen, and they are beautiful monsters overall. But let us take a look at these cards in a bit more detail. So, I am obviously excited for these cards because, to be fair, all players are going to be able to acquire one of these two completely for free. And you can roll in this current Super Godfest, which has respectable rates. Nothing truly outstanding, but respectable rates nevertheless. So, for both Royal Oak and Nautilus plus Seawolf Daytona, they are going to feature very similar setups initially. They are multi-step transforming cards, so they have to transform twice in order to reach their full power. And at the start, both of the cards have 5 skill boost, skill bind resist, and bind immunity, which is definitely a nice upgrade because we didn't have bind immunity on their individual forms. And when you are able to acquire 27 skill boosts, which is not too bad considering they come with 10 with dual leaders, not too hard to do overall, you then will be in a transitional form. So I'm going to look at Seawolf Daytona first. And you basically have the auto healing as well, but nothing really actually occurs because the problem is both of these leaders need to have team members of different rarities. And when you have a clause that says different rarities, it does not count your friend's leaders. So anything that says different rarities or having total rarity cost of say 30, the team's friend leader does not count towards this whatsoever. So for Seawolf and Daytona, you need to make sure you have different rarities. So when they finally transform, all these cards are going to be at 10-star rarity. So you need to have subs at 9, 8, 7, 6, or whatever. Point is they have to be different. And remember, transforming cards will gain a rarity when they actually do transform. So for Seawolf Daytona, make sure you're fully transformed because there's a good chance if you run any 9 stars on your team as subs, you are not going to actually trigger this leader skill multiplier. Now, a way to circumnavigate this is, well, of course, don't bring a 9-star rarity sub. Just have 5, 6, 7, 8, and you're going to be okay because that way everything is a different rarity. Therefore, you trigger this full leader skill immediately. But with that being said, if you bring enough haste delays or big shields, you can technically tank your way through this transitional state of 6 turns. And this same logic will apply to Royal Oak and Nautilus. But now let's take a look at their final forms to get a bit of a better idea of why they are such spectacular leaders. So, when Seawolf Daytona is fully transformed, they have triple 10 combo and 6 TPAs. Possibly one of the largest damage outputs you can actually have as a personal damage multiplier. Absolutely comically high personal damage. Even in super gravity dungeons, matching those TPAs is going to deal spectacular damage, which is kind of outrageous when I think about it. And then their active skill is a 2-turn cooldown, which increases this monster card's damage cap to 6 billion. So in non-super gravity dungeons, there's a good chance one Seawolf Daytona might be doing 18 billion damage. That is kind of the damage output of some entire teams. Truly spectacular, truly outrageous, but hey, this is 2023 and power creep does exist. In addition to that, you get 1 turn of healing 40% of your max HP, and then you create 4 fire, water, and light orbs at random. So you don't get hard orbs. You're not going to be matching hard orbs to really heal because they have 1 RCV multiplier, no RCV multiplier, but they have 27.04 times effective health. So the more health you have, the bigger the auto heal. And with 2 Seawolf Daytonas, you are technically going to be looping this auto healing every single turn. So damage output is going to be flowing because you're going to always have 4 fire, water, and light orbs every single turn, assuming there was no locked orbs already. And then for the rest of the leader skill, comically high attack multiplier, which is really going to be obviously great for the whole team. Different rarity cards gives you large amounts of damage output when you match fire, water, and light. So remember, because it's a flat HP multiplier, you don't actually have to match all of those colors. Make sure you pop Seawolf Daytona every single turn though in order to trigger the auto healing, but in theory, as long as you can tank the hits, which you're most likely going to be able to, you can just get smacked and stall if necessary. Just make sure you are auto healing. And then you get bonus 4 combos, so bonus 8 combos total for both leaders when you match fire, water, and light orbs, and then auto follow attack with the same matching 3 colors. As a whole, this is spectacularly strong as a leader. Huge, immense damage output on the leaders themselves, the ability to raise their damage cap output. They orb generate, they auto heal, and they have flat HP, so they're not going to be getting hit. Again, the key is to populate your team with different rarity cards. So remember, transforming cards do gain a rarity. So if you enter the dungeon with, say, Polone, who is a 5-star card, they transform, they become 6 stars. Keep that in the back of your mind. And for the most part, Seawolf Daytona already kind of has everything you need. And when it comes to team building kind of for both of them, it's just a matter of bringing the mechanics you need to counter the dungeon. So it's probably going to be absorption cancellation, piercing through damage void, a cleric style active skill, and then some sort of utility that you probably like, maybe like shields, RCV, well, probably not RCV buff for Seawolf Daytona, but like maybe movement time, maybe attack buffing, whatever it may be, you can bring them along for the ride. And as a whole, these are spectacularly strong leaders. I would only look at them as leader forms because, well, their weapon assists, while they are nice, are going to be completely eclipsed by their leadership potential. Like, in theory, these leaders can clear essentially every single dungeon in the game. Just be mindful of the fact that they don't have a damage reduction component. It's all flat health. So any gravity-style base attack is going to be painful. A good example is the current Alt UN1 title challenge. The final boss, when you hit him to 50% health, will do a 200% gravity at some point. So a 50% damage reduction shield is technically not enough. You need to have 50% damage reduction shield with an active skill plus 1 fire resist latent somewhere, or just bring a bigger shield. Point of the matter is, be mindful of large gravities. And then for Royal Oak and Nautilus, they're going to follow a similar template in the sense that they need to have different rarity cards, and when they are fully transformed, their attack multiplier is higher, 1600 versus 1324. Like, these are just such high numbers. There was a period in time, like, I don't know, like, numbers are so big nowadays. They don't get an attack multiplier buff through their active skill, but this leader skill compensates. But Royal Oak Nautilus is more balanced in the sense that they have 25 times health and recovery. So you can actually match hard orbs and actually heal. It's a bit of a difference, but their auto healing component is only 30% as opposed to 40%. So just keep that in the back of your mind. Their offensive awakenings are 4 10 combo awakenings and 2 Ls. So TPAs tend to be a bit easier to match compared to Ls overall, especially considering that Royal Oak and Nautilus only make 3 water, wood, and dark orbs. Obviously, you can still match like sets of 3, but when you match the Ls, that's when their personal damage output goes through the roof because they can raise their damage cap to 8 billion. So 24 billion potential damage on a given card is pretty outrageous. Again, super gravity dungeons, their main attributes definitely be pumping out big damage. Just be mindful of the fact that Royal Oak Nautilus doesn't have as easy of a time matching big damage on a personal level because they want to match Ls, and their active skill only generates 3 of each as opposed to 4 of each, which was enough for the TPA clause being fulfilled. But again, for the most part, it's spectacularly strong. Team building is obviously going to look a little bit different, but the same concepts are going to apply. You need different rarity cards. And again, it's just a matter of bringing the mechanics you need to counter the given dungeon, because with flat HP multipliers and flat RCV multipliers in Royal Oak's case, you can technically just sustain yourself. You can sit there, tank hits, heal back up, use the active skill for 30% max heal. It's pretty spectacular overall. Like, these leaders are definitely a step up from what is currently available, and it's great that we all were able to get at least one of these for free. And team building is going to be at least different and possibly more interesting because I was forced to sort my monster box by rarity as opposed to whatever else I was doing beforehand. So it's nice being able to possibly think about using different cards and having rarities actually being important. But if that being said, both of these leaders are still incredibly strong. I'm going to try and do some playing around of both my I only have Seawolf Tona, and I don't plan to roll in this Godfest, so I only can play around with that team for now, but it should be exciting times moving forward. But regardless of all of that, let me know what you, ladies and gentlemen, think about these two cards in the comment section down below. Do you think they are exciting, and which one did you you roll and who were you hoping for? Regardless of all that, hopefully you all have a truly fantastic day. I wish you the best luck in your own pad adventures, and happy puzzling.